important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
As we were setting up for this meeting, for this event, and we really wanted to bring together the most amazing information, the gifts, the nuggets. Robert kept mentioning Glenn's name. He kept saying, this is the guy that's helped me. This is part of the reason that I am where I am. And he talked about all of the experiences of being stepped on and the muscle memory and releasing. And so this is Glenn Calkins. Where did you drive in from? Come on up. Well, oh, you have to stay right here. Okay.
We're going to start with... Yeah, we're like brother researchers here, and it's really hard to find other people that we can talk to about the crazy stuff we talk about. Magnetic rocks, crystals, just things that really doesn't, twinkle some people's... Now, Glenn is a very experienced researcher, and experience just means he's done a lot of stuff to get to where he's at today. Tyler is his apprentice. Tyler, your last name again? Tyler Thurman is his apprentice, and the young guys, remember, teach the old guys, and the old guys teach the young guys, and then we grow a lot. We're here to share. That's the big picture, and so that's what we're really going to do. We're going to tell you a couple of pieces that we call the nectar. Okay, the nectar is really so you know what you're going to do is the right path on what you want to do. Half of what the problem is, remember, if you're confused, what happens? You do nothing. Nothing. So, we're trying to connect the dots, stop the confusion, and once you actually see a bit of the truth, then you experience it, then you go up to the next little tiny baby step, and you go to the next one, and after about 2, 3, 4 years, or 10 years like we have, you crawl up this ladder, or the efficacy that we feel that's real today, or you can jump up 3 or 4 grades like this. Very easy. You're learning about things that you maybe can't see. It's not that you're dumb, stupid. No, it's called ignorance. Ignorance means really that you can't see it, but let's show you some of the things. Don't believe us, investigate it. And if you actually see this as truth, then if you don't negotiate it, then we call it stupidity. Okay, so right now, if you don't want to hear some things that may change the way you think, then you know what? Be gone. Because you may wake up tomorrow saying that I have a lot of things I have to change. So, optimizing your health and wellness, wouldn't that be really sort of part of the sojourn if you wanted to experience life on the planet and have not really longevity, but really have vitality? Vitality is really the way, because you remember, you can live for a long time and suffer every day. See, a lot of people get up every day, okay, and they're suffering. Guys, pushing themselves around. You're going to see us work on a few people here and do a few testing, Glenn and I and Tyler. So we're going to talk about sort of, to give you like a preem of what happens to you when you accumulate all the things. See, Glenn's put some really crucial pieces of the puzzle together. How did he learn it? He's a researcher. It goes back to Galileo days. Goes back to all these different people that have, remember, parts of the nectar. You really can't do this kind of work unless you swim in it. This guy swims in it, like I swim in mine every day. Okay? You want to play pool? That's okay. You want to get good at it? Swim in it. So, Tyler, is really an incredible guy here too, because remember, the young here are the ones that are really here to show us the way. Their DNA actually sees that I don't want to be like the elderly here, not a bit. Why would I want to do that? So you can see he has a dilemma. He either creates a new system here or helps create one. Either that or you go ahead and be miserable every day like everybody else, because the system, as you know right now, is unsustainable and it's actually miserable once you see it. So let's get started here. And first thing we're going to do is give it to Ty.
Thanks, Robert.
You're welcome.
And blessings everybody for being here, as we're all here, could be anywhere in the universe, but here we are. And I just want to say this, for Earth Shift, we appreciate the vision that Robert has had, and I'll speak towards Glenn too right now, the vision that Glenn has had, and the others who are of an older generation that have made anything possible for us, younger generation, anyone's alive right now to stand on. Because there's so much, everyone's just hallucinating in their own little way, and there's so much separation, and there's no communication, and everyone says they want to integrate, but no one's taking the actual steps to actually make that a reality. And that's what time it is. So everything you just said was right on the spot, and I know you see that right there, so that was perfect. So some of the crucial components here that Glenn has helped facilitate and has come through him to put together is a realization that the food, and we all know that one level of this, I'm going to just say two levels. First level is the food, our water and our air, our environment has been compromised, correct? Everyone can answer back. Say, yeah. Yeah. So we all realize that, right? Yeah. So whether if I want to go organic or eat cheeseburgers or eat raw, the food on all levels in each department has been compromised, correct? Yes. We can admit that. Even though we love to get metaphysical, let's bring it to the physical. Because meta just means before. Metaphysical, got to get physical or it does not exist. So is that true? Yeah. That's a hard one for people to swallow. So what we got to do now, we, young sisters, and everyone who's alive right now, there's a responsibility and an inner calling right now to just be yourself, keep growing, but realize we have to address this. No one's going to do it for us. One love. And Glenn, please, bless us.
Thank you. So I'll just give you a little quick rundown about me. I'm 58 years old, and I used to think I was the coolest thing since Pop-Tarts. And I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do drugs, went to the gym, worked out, took handfuls of vitamins, drank a gallon of distilled water a day, wearing out champion juicers, blade after blade after blade, juicer after juicer. I thought I had it going on. It almost killed me. I was 49 years old. I went to the doctor. He told me I was never going to get better again. He told me I had degenerative disc disease in my lower back and my neck, arthritis in my lower back, and I was never going to get better, and he gave me some pain pills. I'm like, no, you got the wrong guy. I'm the vitamin guy. I'm the nutrition guy. I don't have an ounce of fat. I'm the man. No, it's over, buddy. Here's some pain pills. So I went home and I started studying and I started figuring out some chemistry. And I pretty much figured out something really deep called the element game. But before we go into the element game, I just want to start off with one quote from one of the first monotheistic religions called Zoroastrianism. These scriptures are called the Avestas, and this particular scripture is called Zenda Avesta. And this is from Zoroastrianism, and it goes like this. There are three things which build and maintain civilization throughout time. Pristine air, pristine water, and pristine food. And as an eternal truth, I say unto you, there are three things which bring the end to civilization, even the mightiest it's ever been and shall ever be, from the beginningless beginning to the endless end of all time. Impure air, impure water, and impure food. Zenda Avesta, 3000 BC. It's a historical fact that every civilization has fallen. Does that mean that they financially collapsed and everyone evaporated? No. It means that everyone died. Ladies and gentlemen, the element game. Before we get into the element game, I want to explain two things: what an organic mineral is and what an electrolyte salt is. And it goes like this. We need a little chemistry, folks. Carbon dioxide and water makes carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is stable in river water at 4 degrees Celsius. It goes from a gas to a positive ion. And the positive ion carbonic acid peels minerals off of rocks optimally and relatively, according to the abundance of the mineral in the earth crust and its specific density. For example, 98.5% of the Earth crust is made up of 8 elements, 7 of them minerals. Oxygen, silica, alumina, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium makes up 98.5% of the Earth crust. So it goes from a gas to a positive ion, and the acid, carbonic acid, releases minerals optimally and relatively according to the abundance of the mineral in the Earth crust and its specific density. For example, the carbonic acid peels off a tiny bit of inorganic silica and alumina because they're super hard. It peeled off some iron. Iron is the third most prevalent mineral in the Earth crust, number 1 element in the planet. And then it knocked off calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium. It etched up under the rock. It released calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium. The first side is called an oxide. Now you have an oxide going down the river. It's vortexing. There's acid. There's rock. And sure enough, bang! It knocks the oxygen off it, and it goes from an oxide to a carbonate. Now you have a carbonate, a little bit smaller, going down the river, vortexing acid, sure enough, knocking it down to molecular size. It knocks it down one more size into a hydroxide. That's as small as it's going to get. Now I told you that the carbonic acid was stable at 4 degrees Celsius. When the carbonic acid warms up, it slightly and reversibly drops an H ion. Disassociates hydrogen. Hydrogen has a proton, electron, no neutron. It disassociates the hydrogen, it dumps the proton, donates the electron, and it turns into a bicarbonate, an HCO3. So it goes from a gas to a positive ion, releases iron, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, warms up, disassociates the hydrogen, and it goes into an HCO3, a bicarbonate. The negative ion bicarbonate has a strong affinity for calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium, and that's what an electrolyte salt is. It's a negatively charged bicarbonate with a positively charged metallic to it, and that is a circuit for magtricity. It has nothing to do with building muscles, organs, and bones. It has to do with the alkalinity of our body and facilitating voltage-gated ion channels. Calcium bicarbonate contracts the muscle. Magnesium bicarbonate relaxes a muscle. Sodium bicarbonate predominantly outside the cell. Potassium bicarbonate predominantly inside the cell facilitates what's known as a sodium-potassium pump. Sodium pumps potassium out, potassium pumps the sodium out. It's how your cells get hydrated. It's part of the ATP cycle to convert phosphate into energy. It's called water. Properly mineralized water. Now, what is an organic mineral? In the carbon cycle, you have your biogeochemical cycles, the carbon cycle and the interaction of the nitrogen cycle. A plant does photosynthesis. 6 parts carbon dioxide in through the leaves, 6 parts oxygen out, 1 part sugar. 1 part sugar goes down into the roots, mixes with microbial activity in the nitrogen cycle, and it makes something called fulvic acid. The plant brings up a positively charged metallic. The fulvic attaches a negatively charged carbon, a carbanion, life carbon, electron-rich carbon. It attaches a negatively charged carbon, and that's what an organic mineral is. You're carbon-based, and a metallic with a carbon negatively attached to it is another circuit. Remember? Negative, positive, electrolyte salt, voltage-gated ion channels, and on the other hand, an organic mineral, a positive with a negative, and that's an electrical magtricity building block, and it builds muscles, organs, and bones. So now we know what water is. It has bicarbonate salts, and food under normal circumstances has organic minerals. Ladies and gentlemen, the element game. Justus von Liebig, the chemical gatekeeper, 1803-1873. The guy made Einstein look like a retard. Doctor, veterinarian, botany, agriculture, chemistry, organic chemistry, biogeochemical cycles, air 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% of the gases. The guy figured out where life came from. So did I. Homosexual, mid-1850s, didn't go over that big. Wife divorced him like most Jesus, couldn't make money. He was a great man. He was a humanitarian. He was one of the smartest people I've read in the history books. He was a great man. He was a humanitarian. The mid-1850s in Germany, there was a big famine. Justus figures he's going to get on the fertilizer action, make himself some fertilizer. So he knows his biogeochemical cycles, the hydrological cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the oxygen cycle, sulfur cycle, the phosphate cycle, and the mineral cycle. You can't count organics. You got to cook them down to ash and bring them back to inorganic. Justice knows his mineral cycle, so he starts cooking plants down to ash. And boy, he's messing around like most geniuses do in the laboratory, mixing stuff, matching, growing stuff, and boy, he finds it. NPK. Nitrogen, phosphate, potassium. 3 inorganic metallics. It grows plants like weed. The crop yields insane. Highly acidic. It kills the microbes in the soil. Plants are poison. He didn't think too much about it. He's a humanitarian. So he's socializing over there in Germany. He comes across the Bayer family. You know, Bayer aspirin, Bayer crop science, Monsanto. Did everybody know that Bayer and Monsanto was one company called Moby, which is part of IG Farben? In its heyday, IG Farben was said to be the 4th largest company on the planet, behind U.S. Steel, General Motors, Standard Oil, and IG Farben. However, in 1941, we found a marriage cartel between Rockefellers, Standard Oil, and IG Farben, which made IG Farben the largest company in the world. He comes across the Bayer family. I was in the laboratory, man. You can't believe it. Plants will throw in 3 inorganic metallics, nitrogen, phosphate, potassium. Grow like weed. Crop yields insane. Highly acidic. It kills the microbes in the soil. The plants are poison. Yes! Yes! Huh? Do you understand me, Justice? The boats are loaded. The fertilizer's going out, and it's got your name on it, buddy. You're endorsing it. You're the man. Huh? Do you understand me? The boats are loaded, the fertilizer's going out, and you're endorsing. You can't do this. This is genocide. He runs around the back door, Encyclopedia Britannica, 11th edition. I lied. They framed him. I lied. The minerals weren't in the food. Bavarian Illuminati comes in. What the? You recant the recant. You say that further testing proved the minerals were in there. And I'm sure they told Justice if he opened up his mouth again, then they could kill him. The game unfolds. The fertilizer is highly acidic. It kills the microbes in the soil. No more fulvic. They demineralize the entire human race. And we're just getting warmed up. Do you understand me? Man, that soil's getting a little acidic on you guys. You need some agricultural lime, some calcium hydroxide. That'll alkalize the soil up. The farmers start dumping calcium hydroxide everywhere. The plants are bringing up inorganic nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, and agricultural lime calcium hydroxide. The calcium, potassium, or magnesium antagonists. Bam! Cut that magnesium wire. Getting a little delusional now, huh? Oh, I'm going to take you out of the game, do you understand me? When I'm done with you, you're going to be sitting in front of CVS on 12 of my prescriptions, and you will never know what hit you. Do you understand me? First, they demineralize this calcium, potassium poisoning. So you can eat that last organic ear of corn, that last organic salad, because the only difference between organic NPK and synthetic NPK is the N. And they both kill the microbes in the soil. You can eat that last ear of corn, you're going to finally deplete those crucial magnesium reserves. Heart locked up like a rock. He died of a heart attack. He didn't die of a heart attack. Tell the truth. What did he die from? Calcium, potassium poisoning. Magnesium deficiency. You're darn right he did. That's what he died from. Calcium, potassium poisoning. The game unfolds. The plants are bringing up nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, and agricultural lime. The calcium and the phosphate start to accumulate in the pineal gland outside the blood-brain barrier. Second highest blood flow in the body, second to the kidneys. Corpora arnica, hydroxyapatite crystals in the pineal gland. They calcified the pineal gland of the entire human race. Passive, sedated, docile, suggestible, easily controlled. Symptoms of pineal calcification include disorientation, brain fog, memory loss, depression, hyperglycemia, toxicity, thick blood, hormonal dysregulation, temperature dysregulation, decreased pain threshold. You don't get the deep sleep, so you don't get the human growth hormone necessary to repair the muscles. You don't get the deep sleep, so you get the ATP cycle to work phosphate into energy. Normally your body converts tryptophan, an amino acid, into serotonin. Pineal converts serotonin into melatonin. No pineal. Monoamino oxidase, an enzyme in the brain, and melatonin regulate each other. You knock the melatonin out, the MAOs go through the ceiling. It's a chemical lobotomy. When the melatonin doesn't make it to the melatonin receptors in the hypothalamus, it affects memory and learning, and we're just getting warmed up. Man, those plants getting taken advantage by insects? Damn! What do you think? You knocked out the nitrogen cycle. The thing's growing on 3 organic metallics. I guess it's got no natural defenses against predators. We can fix that for you. You need some insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, microbicides, molluscibicides, rodenticides. Come on, folks. Neurotoxins, nerve gases, sedatives, and endocrine disruptors, and we're just getting warmed up. 1900. Man, you guys getting sick? Damn! What do you think? You knocked the nitrogen cycle out. Demineralize the whole place. No folic and humic. Man, you guys getting sick? It's that water you're drinking. Viruses, bacteria, pyrogens. You know, we got a waste product from the alkaline manufacturing business. We can't even dispose of this stuff. I mean, we developed a brand new product for you folks. It's called chlorine. And if you put chlorine in the water, it's going to kill those viruses, bacteria, pyrogens making you sick. 1904, they chlorinated the water. The chlorine hit the humic and the soil and the fertilizer, turning into chloral hydrate sedative. The chloral hydrate in the shower turns into chloroform sedative. And we're just getting warmed up. It goes on for 3 hours. Where me and Robert, some other people are working on getting it out. We got the solution. The bottom line is we banged it off. The BS is over. We got the antidote. And these people are in a lot of trouble for what they did. It goes on and on and on. You got the point. Anymore, be beating a dead horse. I want to get positive. I want to offer some solutions. And I want to bring my friends together. And I want to get positive. We got the antidote.
Yeah, we just started to go and scratch the surface. What about hybridized GMO? Okay. What about all the different types of chemicals? Okay, 80,000 chemicals. When you go to the store and it says conventional, what do you think that means? It means anything goes. Conventional this, conventional that, that just means anything goes. So, you know, you really got to see that we're in a problem here because most of everything we live in the desert, don't we? Cut the water off here and what do you have? 6 months, you got a lot of problems. So, most of the foods that we have and most of the things we have are actually from here, and just like Glenn was saying, you've got years of using NPK, 3 minerals after several generations. And if you look up a study called just the Pottinger study, okay, and the Pottinger study is just another study, just like many of the other ones, is basically, look, every time you have children, they shouldn't be slower, simpler, or I don't like to say stupider. Okay? They shouldn't be. They should be faster, quicker, and smarter. And you can see each generation, if you cut out the minerals, you cut out the conductivity, you cut out all these other areas, so every generation becomes weaker. The DNA becomes weaker. And you see a lot of children right now, 1 out of 40 children have autism. 30% of the population of the United States is obese or 30 pounds plus toxic. It's not fat. Remember, it's a creature living in acid, living in certain types of accumulated areas and plugged vessels. So there is an antidote here. And one of the things is actually to be smart enough to see a lot of the things that really you can't see. And if you can see them, what are you going to do about it? Remember, it's got to be easy, it's got to be efficient, it's got to be economical, and you have to see others that actually have done this. So Let me hand this over to Tyler for a few minutes here, because we're going to set the stage here a little bit, because a lot of people, look, he only scratched the surface here of this. And when you really see that a lot of the different places you see, do you know who bought Whole Foods here lately? Monsanto did. Okay? I mean, it's sort of weird when you see, remember, and it's not to be negative, it's no big deal, it's just that you can see business is as usual. Now, really what we're looking at here is what kind of liquids, what kind of foods, what kind of things do we have to be able to rebuild ourselves? Because remember, MPK foods, all the food you're buying at the store only have 3 minerals in it. If you go to the ocean, there's over 80 plus minerals. What makes you think that those minerals, those 3 minerals, are going to help you at all? It makes the plants, like Glenn said, it's miracle grow. It makes everything, weeds, anything it touches, it makes it grow. But it has nothing in it. It's pretty, but it has nothing in it. Our bodies need electricity, magtricity, as you're saying. He's showing you the science mind. It's not complicated. It's very simple. We've been dumbed down to be able to actually even understand a truth. And there are certain cycles, and once you understand them, then we all want to actually not pervert the natural cycles, because if not, we're just killing ourselves. We live with nature. You can't go ahead and pervert nature. If not, then we pervert ourselves. So let me just, hand this back over here. Remember, there is simple solutions here, and the simple solutions is the groups coming together to be able to see, really, that there is a better way, and it's not going to be really shown to you in what you think. It has to be created. You have to take the pioneers that have been playing with this unsustainable system, and really, like I said, take the nectar out. Remember, Glenn's pretty advanced, so you got to really, look and see. He's sort of like a college professor, okay? He's hard to talk to like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, because that's most of us what we are. Okay? Because it's not because we're dumb, we just haven't had the experience yet to be able to really understand different things that are so basic. Like, why do we explode fuel? Is there anything in nature that explodes anything? No. It implodes everything. Tornadoes, hurricanes. Everything follows, as we were talking about yesterday with Rob Moses. Everything follows the wormhole, the vortex. I'd show you my wormhole vortex, but the pump seized on us. So next time, I'm going to hand this over to Tyler. And he's such a young guy. I wish that I had this type of ideas and also had dads, brothers, like, different people we could learn from. Because what happens is these guys learn a few things from us and from you, and what they do is they take it to the next level. We only can get so far. We're sort of, actually, tell you the truth, they get burned out of doing this stuff, really. Need other help. And so if anybody really wants to get healthy, you got to volunteer. Glenn says this all the time. You want to stay here, guys? Volunteer to stay here, or volunteer to leave. And, you can do it, 2 different ways. Take the red pill or the blue pill. So anybody that's here, of course, wants to be able to actually optimize themselves. And you may just be changing a shower to chlorinator. You just may be changing over your sugars over to ones that have minerals. Okay? You may be just changing over your non-genetically modified, or your food source to heirloom. That's what our shift has, a lot of heirloom foods. Remember, your food is not raw food anyways. It's foods with minerals that haven't been compromised. And the next level is live foods. And the next level, of course, is grabbing sunlight, is grabbing magnetic, as he's saying, magtricity, but you got to have the minerals to be able to absorb. So liquids, of course, again, number 1 disease on the planet. Number 1 is dehydration. If you can learn how to drink water, you can get healthy. One last thing before I hand it off. Look up Dr. Robert Cassar. It's how you can find it on the internet. If not, there's so hard to find anything sometimes. There's so many videos. And look up Dr. Robert Cassar. Look up the 6 liquids of vitality. One of the things that are the liquids of vitality is the base is getting good, clean, pristine water. Without pristine water, you can't have pristine food, you can't have pristine air, you can't have pristine anything. Water's everything. It's in the air, it's in the atmosphere, it's everything. It's in your body 71%, and without it, basically, and if it's dirty and or non-conductive, then all we are is turning into a race, as you can see, not too smart. And that just means we're not too conductive, so sorry, I keep on talking.
Thank you, brother. Both of you guys. I just want to say 2 different things really fast, really briefly, before Glenn's going to get into what this is all really about, because it ain't all about talking. Next dimension, just feel it. Like Robert was saying, when it's up here, you better start feeling it, because that's what's going on. One thing is this. I want to throw this out there. Anyone who wants to learn the next level of mathematics that has to deal with everything Robert's talking about, cosmically, everything that Glenn's talking about, and bring it together, just Google vortex-based mathematics, Margot Roden. Gotta say that's the truth. Now let's bring it back here. We gotta set the foundation so you guys understand what pristine is about. I want to just go over this to make sure you actually understand what we call the pristine standard education right now. The education has to do with the pristine protocol. You have to know, once again, what that organic mineral is, what that electrolyte salt is, and I guarantee a lot of you ain't going to be buying a lot of stuff that people are trying to get you to buy. And that's very important right now. So I just want to make sure you absorbed what he said. Okay, let's pick out you, brother man right there in the gray shirt. Just answer this question if you can, just yell it out. Okay, what is an organic mineral? Did you get that? Let's start with that.
Maybe that's a little...
Okay, you didn't get it. Check this out. So, if this is a rock, right? And let's say this is silver, a metal piece of silver, right? Metal piece of silver. This is an organic mineral is if I'm able to attach a negatively charged carbon anion to this. Now it's carbon-based, and you're a carbon-based life form, right? So when someone's selling you supplements or vitamin or food or everything is supposed to be beneficial to your body, it's supposed to be an organic mineral, plant-based. A lot of the supplements and stuff like that in the health food store are rocks, are crushed up powder rock. That's all it is. And it's in Mother's Market, in Whole Foods, 2 or 3 aisles full. Plugging you up, poisoning you. So just share that with the people who you see hallucinating walking through the aisles there. Because they need the love. They're looking, they're like confused. So like today, we brought magnesium bicarbonate. It's not an organic mineral, it's an electrolyte salt. But people say, oh, I take magnesium. You sure about that? You take crushed up rock magnesium. Here's the difference. You got our product, magnesium bicarbonate, which you found in nature. Then you have a crushed up rock product, like let's say just a name drop something, like a calm or something like that, right? The difference is this. Nature took that magnesium little chunk that we call an oxide, which is about the size of like a sea salt granule, and it brewed it with the carbonic acid, which is just carbon dioxide and water, natural process. It brewed it, imploded it, vortexed it, and broke it down a little bit smaller to a carbonate, the size of, let's say, a sea granule, like a sand. And then broke it down a little bit smaller to a hydroxide, which is like the size of powder. Broke it down a little bit smaller till it's finally in liquid form. So bicarbonate simply means liquid form. Everything should be in that molecular structure. So that's why we do the magnesium bicarbonate. The product's called electrolyte balance. That's what you need. That's a real electrolyte salt. So now you know what an electrolyte salt is. So don't take any magnesium or calcium release supplements because that ain't it. That's not pristine, and that's our only standard. We've done a lot of research. Glenn's done a lot of research, 20 plus years in this field before he released any product. And brother man right here done a lot of research, and that's why he's doing what he's doing right now, and you guys are here right now. So come on, guys, let's get it together, and let's keep our eyes open, keep the eye open, and get together, because we all really need real food, man, or else this ain't going to be, I don't even need to tell you what it is. Use your own imagination. All right? I think there's something to say.
Yeah, remember, your bodies have been demineralized, and maybe 2 or 3 generations worth. My father's mother just passed. She's 98 years old. 98. I just turned 50 years old. I used to work at the hospital. And if you were 50, it was like a magic number for people who have heart attacks. It's a magic number for people to start having disease. Well, it's the magic number only because you've accumulated so much junk, and over time, basically, your body can't deal with it anymore. It's stuck. It doesn't have the minerals to be able to really neutralize. Because look, you drink a cup of coffee, you drink a soda, whatever it is, you got to take his water and drink about 32 glasses of it to be able to neutralize, you know what I mean? Just this amount of that. And guess what? You're most likely not drinking this type of water, alkaline, or some form of alkalinity. So what happens is your body's got to figure out how to take this acid and neutralize it. Because your blood has to say 7.3 to 7.46 all the time. And your body needs this. And if it's 7.3 versus 7.46, it's a huge difference in the amount of oxygen that he was talking about, because your body only can do what you've terrain modified to become. And part of your system right now is to be smart. You've been demineralized. You did it to yourselves. We did it to ourselves because we're buying things that really are not good for us. Why? Because they're processed. They're dead. They're demineralized. And the things that look like they're good for us really aren't looking good that much, but they look pretty. Apples, all these, remember, normal apples are small, normal oranges are small, normal things that are heirloom are small. They have their seeds. They're not bananas this big. Those are hybridized. And if you eat big things, all you have to do is look at the research. You get big too. You eat genetically modified foods, you get genetically modified too. You eat these demineralized foods, and what do you think happens to you? You're not getting mineralized. So all you've done is lost your minerals, and 2 or 3 generations, like I said, the children are not getting faster, quicker, and smarter. There's 1 out of 40 children that have autism. So we're going to show you, basically, because a lot of people here, we've stepped on a few people yesterday, just to go ahead. Who are the people we stepped on? A couple guys. Come on up. Now, these were the guys we're trying to see also. We're looking for really what we feel that are pretty healthy people, that are younger and everything. Because remember, as you accumulate, everybody gets these crystals. There's not a person in here that's not loaded full of crystals on your thighs. Except for this guy. I'm not as good as him, but I'm pretty close. This is his life. I have to do it on the side. If you think, like I said, if you think you're healthy, you know how you check it? These thighs right here collect these crystals by the foods and the waters that you put in or not put in. These crystals, if you look at them, we'll pass this around here, are sharp, really sharp. Now, these are in our thighs. They're in our tissue. They clog up everything, the glands. Remember, what do you think brain sand is? You think gallstones are, kidney stones, arteriosclerosis, atherosclerosis. They're calcium oxalate diseases. Okay, simple. Calcium oxalate are all forms of all diseases. So what do? We need to neutralize. You need to break this. Remember, this stuff is cement. Okay, so this is one of the most important things to know, that you don't have minerals in your body. So you need to redistribute them any way you can, and you get organic. They need to be plant minerals, and or transdermal minerals are really pretty smart too, like the hexahydrate magnesiums, but you need to do it on both sides the way I like to do it. I like to try to do as many natural plant things as I possibly can, because the plants transmute the minerals so we can uptake them, because they're in a form that has conductivity. The ones in the ground don't have it. They haven't been vortexed a lot of times. They haven't been charged. The plant actually transcribes and turns it into a usable ion. So,
we have Dixie, who's going to be starting yoga in the tent in about 15 minutes. Robert, you are going to be speaking later on today as well. So I just want to give you a few more minutes just to wrap up. What is the juiciest nuggets that you want to send out?
What we want to really do, I'll tell you, because you said the juiciest nuggets. Really what everybody needs to see is, okay, we took both you guys yesterday? Okay. Do we have, how much time do we have? 15 minutes?
We should just announce that Pixie's
Okay.
doing yoga.
Pixie's doing yoga in the tent next door. Anybody who wants to join that, and I did my yoga class this morning, boy, every day is starts out your day if you can get stretched and feel good. It does.
So in about 15 minutes, and this is a good, we're going to do the demonstration next.
Okay, we're going to do a demo, and then
If you're hungry, this is a good time to
yeah, if you're hungry, this is a good time to go out. And then when we come back, we're going to continue. Okay, because look, we're here to connect the dots. It's not me telling you what. It's not him. It's not him. There's a multitude of real truth here, efficacy, and you got to see that there's a path here. What path you want to take is your own deal. Pull out what you feel is the nectar. Your mind can unravel. Even if you're eating flesh, then eat at least non-contaminated, organic type flesh, at least to start. You're smoking, you're going to go to an organic brand. You're just going to start optimizing pieces. And what happens is once you start to feel really wealthy is the information because you feel like you're on the right track. If not, you're just guessing. Healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise. Once you get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, then the next thing you're going to work on is consciousness. Okay? Consciousness is real basic here, but you can't talk about it until you get to the level of conductivity to be able to say, whoa, where was I at before? You got to feel. Consciousness means you feel, too. You don't just hear, you feel the truth. There's not just some type of truth that you're actually getting conned in. Remember, this is reasonable and logical. So, we worked on him yesterday, and he's really good. Okay? Now, today, you notice, how sore are you today? Let's go ahead and... Here, let Glenn, why don't you take this over here now, because you did the...
Okay. Tyler, jump on. Anyways, the good news is, folks, is that I figured out the chemistry, and they have what's under the ice in Alaska is called tundra. It's the perfect combination of Father Time and Mother Earth. It's completely pristine, no cadmium and lead. If you quit burning right now, it would take 15,000 years to get the lead out of the soil and 30,000 years to get the cadmium out of the soil. We have pristine tundra from under the ice in Alaska. It's a waste product up there. It's the perfect combination of Father Earth and Mother Time. It's completely uncontaminated. 35,000 bacteria, 5,000 funguses, and 1 tablespoon has more microbes than there are people on the planet, and the stuff is dirt cheap. We should have real food next year. Food is on the way. The BS is over. We figured out how to grow. We have magtricity. We do high density vertical farming and come in with some in series and in parallel earth batteries that we made, bump the magtricity up and grow real food. Food's on the way. We have water. We have the antidote. Things are looking better. And now we're going to go and do a physical. What happens here is just from being demineralized and the calcium potassium poisoning. Calcium contracts, magnesium relaxes, so his muscles would not relax. They just calcified in the on position. My whole body was calcified. I was solid. You guys, I exercised so much I almost killed myself. I was solid. So what happened is I figured out that I was dying. I figured out I was being poisoned. I figured out who poisoned me, how they poisoned me. I studied, taught myself, doctor, veterinarian, botany, all these things, got clairvoyance and said, I think I can fix myself. Part of the process is you come in here and you start feeling your legs. Everybody's sitting there right now. Go in, because everyone has it. Robert calls it the disease. It's a pandemic, folks. Everyone has it, and we have the antidote. You just come in and feel the inside of your thigh and you'll feel a soreness in that muscle. If you listen to your body when it whispers, you will never have to hear it scream. I'll say that again. If you listen to your body when it whispers, you'll never have to hear it scream. This is a very severe problem that's here, and everyone has it, and we have the antidote. It just takes a little work, and you don't have to be perfect. Check the skin. Skin should not hurt, and check the skin on top of your hand. It'll separate, and you can feel it. And then go to your forearm and feel the skin on your forearm. And then come up to your upper arm and feel the skin up there. Most people have scleroderma, hard skin. It's not fat, folks. Oh, I'm fat. No. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with hard skin, collagen cross-linking, part of systemic sclerosis. So what you do is you come in, you do the gua sha that Robert taught you to do. You do the myofascial release, the skin rolling, and feel it and get circulation back to that tissue. I had it. My skin was an inch thick. I peeled it off and I did body work on myself. This stuff right here, this guy's, if you could see the look on his face right now.
How's that feel, brother?
It's super painful. And he's in really good shape. Okay, now, you really, because we've been doing this for a long time. I've done literally, hundreds, this guy thousands. Everybody here has this disease. It's called an accumulation of crystals. And whoever's got that crystal, I want you to push on that and notice that those crystals, unless you soften them up, and this guy's advanced, and he's moaning. You can't see his face.
Yeah, I'm moaning. Right now, even he's not even put his weight on me, but he's working it around. It's super.
Yeah, this is what it is. Look, your knees right here, they all have tendon attachments, and when you have, let's say, because this is really simple here. All he's doing is, because he's already soft. You can't do any of this work unless you've already softened yourself up. This is why the far infrared heater's good, laying in the sun's good. You got to stretch, do yoga, and really go ahead and hydrate yourself so your body now, this cement on the ground is pliable. If not, then don't touch it yet. And the older you are, the more cement you have. The more remember, I had black and blue bruises for a long time. I didn't really know what I was doing. We're doing a lot of research. Sure.
With the snake bite, not having calcium, the compartmental syndrome, all of that, because you were in the flow, is that part of the reason you want to go through this? It doesn't look fun, and there are other ways to do this as well. If this one calls to you right away, but you are building your body, building strength within your being to be useful for that purpose and time that a snake bite or there's some sort of injury. If you take care of it, and radiation poisoning, any time that you bring the ability of your body to heal to its optimal state, you don't have to choose this route. It looks painful if you're not into pain, but it will allow you to be useful right away to yourself. If anything comes up, if you're in an accident, your body is fluid, able to move, and so you're able to be flexible rather than crack. Besides releasing toxins in there. And you guys are going to continue after lunch. We're going to have...
What we just did with him is, look, you're not doing this to yourselves. Don't just think that you can jump on this person and go ahead and do this. Look, you can hurt somebody. Let's say he's 50 years old. And remember, he's calcified. Glenn said, just like everybody, 30-year-old person in here most likely has a calcified pineal gland because of the amount of oxalate poisoning, fluoride, and all the different accumulation of things. That's just your pineal gland. You think it's not in your tissue? You think it's not in your arteries? There's a lot of people in here right now that have a lot of brittleness to their bodies. You got to be the stepping on stuff is advanced. You start out light, hands, and just different types of ways. But remember, it's your sort of, not problem, but it's your experiment. You can get help from other people, and you really need a companion to do this with. You need help from these guys. Let me tell you, they're going to take you up 3, 4, 5 grades like this. You're going to have to work just like homework. You don't go to college and you just go to class and you come home. No, you got homework to do. And homework is just really doing a lot of this stuff. And it is. You got to give it, remember, 6 months is your volunteer to your own self to be able to say, before I make any decisions, because you're going to most likely feel worse as you go. This is, remember, tank load the jump program. This isn't just, put your toe in the water, whatever. And this is an instant change. But then again, remember, the older you are, the more dangerous, because this is actually dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. You can break ribs, stepping on people's ribs. The styloid process has a look, so you need really to see that this is Glenn's intuitive, Tyler's intuitive. When you work on people, and now when he was getting work done here, he's given him like 101% a little bit for this guy because he can take it. Now, if you did that to, let's say, how old are you?
34.
34. Now, if he was sometimes just because he's not old. If he was 14 years old, if there's 14-year-olds in here, I bet you we can't walk on your thighs. Okay, you know that. Okay. All these different processed foods, I don't want to say them because get in trouble. All you have to do is see that if it's processed and if it's NPK, this is the beginning stage of the disease. All it takes sometimes, and this is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th generation. When did NPK start?
1850.
1850. It's everywhere. Okay, so the only way you could really play this game, remember, is really see that it's an exponential game to play all together. And you can learn a lot. Go on earthshiftproject.com. I've got 100 hours of lecture time over there talking about the galaxy, the cosmos, and a lot of things from the atoms to the cosmos. But in between, basically, is really the reality so you can see where to make your own choices. Don't get confused. It's very simple, but you do need to figure out what part of the movie you're walking into. You remember, you came to the planet, you were awakened, all of a sudden you're just in this quagmire. So let's go back, and let's go ahead and really look. Remember, we're just going back to nature. We're just going back to the natural ways. And decumulating is number one. And actually remineralizing is number 2. And, of course, we don't even talk about hydration. Okay, getting in the sun, electrical magnetics, all these different things are little pieces of the pie. Yoga means union. Come on. These are all things that are like the yoga swing I have outside there. These are all little pieces of nectar. If you have the money, great. If you don't, I don't even go to the gym anymore. My gym is the Omni Swing, and I have a couple little handle things, and I use my body to do mostly everything. So, it's really being sustainable, and spending money to get healthy is not sustainable. You do need some tools. And if you do have some money, let me tell you, there are some valid tools. He's bought $20,000 lasers. Okay? remember, ear repair. I only got into this just like him, because we were irreparable. Doctor says, you need surgery too. Want to do an L4, L5, L5, S1 laminectomy on me? And I said, sure thing. I was a doctor chiropractor. That would be an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. And I'm Mr. Vitamin 2, taking all these inorganic minerals like a dummy. My whole body was filled up with, as all of us. So all you can do really is like I said,
But you look good with those giant arms. And he was a bodybuilder.
Well, but most people, and I'll show you. Hold on the mic for 1 sec. When I bend my arm, the mic right here. When I bend my arm, the reason why I didn't get the compartment syndrome is because you can see this vein through here. You're a solar panel. If you can't see your veins, it only means that you've got scleroderma, like he was talking about. It's a thickening of the skin. It's underneath. It's very smart, remember, for your body to be like a solar panel. It's very hard, and the older you are, the harder. I've done a lot of gua sha, let me tell you. I've bruised myself practicing, using different types of liquids. So anything I'm going to share with you is only because it's all research. I'm just a student. I'm going to show you things I shouldn't. He's going to show you things he shouldn't. Why? Because we're not showing you anything. We're just showing you what we do. And there is a lot of information here. A lot. You just take a little bite at a time, though. And
what are we going to cover after lunch?
Well, I'm going to go over we're talking about, I'd like to do a little bit of showing people, look, really, number one thing is you got to soften yourself up. We're going to show you a little gua sha stuff, and number two, that's the outside part. Then we need to get in deeper. There's a medium part. Remember, this guy goes to the bone. This is where we're at right now. We're going down deep.
What should they have for you?
Well, what we're going to do is, remember, everybody can't really participate in this. You can, but you can't really. It's everybody really, to me, remember, has their own different set of circumstances, and anybody who gets gua sha'd is going to get bruised.
If you could take them in the grass, we could show everybody how to work on their legs real soft.
Totally. And we'll show you a couple things. We're going to show you some outside starting basic building blocks and some inside.
What this about is about people coming together. It's about one person helping another. Isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what it's all about? It's about bringing us together. It's about doing body work on each other and bringing that energy of two or more gathered. So this energy, the people, we need each other. More than ever now. It's a unity. So we'll see you after lunch. Thank you.
We'll give them a big round of applause. Woo!